Hello Biafrans and lovers of freedom all over the world. Good morning, afternoon and evening, depending on where you're connecting. You are welcome to Biafra Battle Cry TV.
Frederick Forsyth, the Briton who remained a friend of Ndigbo till the very end, died today at 86. Ndigbo have lost a dear friend, a friend in need and a friend indeed. In one of his epic renditions on the Biafran genocide, he wrote, "The federal government in Lagos was a brutal military dictatorship that came to power in 1966 in a bloodbath. During and following that coup, the northern and western regions were swept by a pogrom in which thousands of resident Igbo were slaughtered. The federal government lifted not a finger to help. It was led by an affable British-educated colonel, Yakubu Gowon. But he was a puppet. The true rulers were a group of northern Nigerian colonels. The crisis deepened, and in early 1967 eastern Nigeria, harboring about 1.8 million refugees, sought restitution. A British-organized conference was held in Ghana and a concordat agreed. But Gowon, returning home, was flatly contradicted by the colonels, who tore up his terms and reneged on the lot. In April, the eastern region formally seceded, and on the 7th of July, the federal government declared war. Biafra was led by the eastern region's Oxford-educated former military governor, Emeka Ojukwu. I arrived in the Biafra capital of Enugu on the third day of the war. In London I had been copiously briefed by Gerald Watrous, head of the BBC's West Africa service. What I did not know was that he was the obedient servant of the government's Commonwealth Relations Office, CRO, which believed every word of its High Commissioner in Lagos, David Hunt. It took 2 days in Enugu to realize that everything I had been told was utter garbage. Fortunately, the Deputy High Commissioner in Enugu, Jim Parker, told me what was really happening. It became clear that the rubbish believed by the CRO and the BBC stemmed from our High Commissioner in Lagos. A racist and a snob, Hunt expected Africans to leap to attention when he entered the room, which Gowon did. At their single pre-war meeting Ojukwu did not. Hunt loathed him at once. My brief was to report the all-conquering march of the Nigerian army. It did not happen. Naively, I filed this. When my report was broadcast, our High Commissioner complained to the CRO in London, who passed it on to the BBC, which accused me of pro-rebel bias and recalled me to London. 6 months later, in February 1968, fed up with the slavishness of the BBC to Whitehall, I walked out and flew back to West Africa. Ojukwu roared with laughter and allowed me to stay. My condition was that, having rejected British propaganda, I would not publish his either. He agreed. That same July, the Daily Express cameraman David Cairns ran off a score of rolls of film and took them to London. Back then, the British public had never seen such heartrending images of starved and dying children. When the pictures hit the newsstands, the story exploded. There were headlines, questions in the House of Commons, demonstrations, marches. Donations flooded in. The money could buy food, but how to get it there? Around year's end, the extraordinary Joint Church Aid was born. The World Council of Churches helped to buy some clapped-out freighter aircraft and gain permission from Portugal to use the offshore island São Tomé as a base. Scandinavian pilots and crew, mostly airline pilots, offered to fly without pay. Joint Church Aid was quickly nicknamed Jesus Christ Airlines, and thus came into being the world's only illegal Mercy Air bridge. Throughout 1969 the relief planes flew through the night, dodging Nigerian MiG fighters, to deliver their life-giving cargoes of reinforced milk powder to a jungle airstrip. From their trucks took the sacks to the missions, the nuns boiled up the nutriments and kept thousands of children alive. Carl Jaggi, head of the Red Cross, estimated that up to 1 million children died, but that at least 500,000 were saved. Rest in peace.
Hello Biafrans and lovers of freedom all over the world. Good morning, afternoon and evening, depending on where you're connecting. You are welcome to Biafra Battle Cry TV.